Matt Sinclair here. I wanted to give a quick reaction on the new Commission decision around Microsoft Activision. I'll try to keep it quick, but tease out how to understand the decision, what it might mean going forward for the deal overall and for UK tech policy. So, to keep it short, it's approved. Why did the Commission? But I think let's think about why the Commission came to a different conclusion to the UK Competition Markets Authority, which, and I covered this in an earlier video, found that the deal shouldn't go ahead. And the crucial point is the one at the end of this quote here, where it found an active improvement in the cloud gaming sector. Let's do a quick compare and contrast on the decisions. So first, I think it's striking that the logic here is very similar. It's not like the two regulators have gone away and come back with a fundamentally different approach, have conceived of the impact of the merger or set a different standard, or have just been dealing with what seemed to be a different set of facts. Crucially, on the bigger, more established console gaming market, both regulators find that the merger would not hurt competition. Even on cloud gaming, it's not that different. Both regulators found it would impede competition. The difference is in the attitude to the remedies. These are the deals that Microsoft agreed with a series of cloud gaming providers, where if you own a copy of a game, you'll be able to play it in a cloud on a streaming service, essentially. The CMA didn't like these on two broad sets of grounds. Firstly, that it would require ongoing regulation. They argued that would be difficult, hard to get right, and just inferior to blocking the merger. And B, that it might not support some business and technological models. So if you wanted to offer the games on different operating systems, or if you wanted to offer them in outside of that model where you buy a game and then you're allowed to stream it. The EU looked at this and saw a more immediate and I guess concrete positive impact on the content available to cloud providers, the offer they could make to consumers. And so it argued that it would improve the situation in the cloud gaming market. You could think about the EU's approach here as an example of the old idiom, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And I think you could argue it fits a nascent sector like cloud gaming better than the more purist approach the CMA has taken, because it's attempting to get to a world where Activision's content powers new kinds of challenges to Microsoft in cloud gaming, or just the development of cloud gaming. So I think where you stand on this will ultimately depend on, do you think the bigger problem is getting cloud gaming going by having more content available? Or do you think the challenge is creating maximum freedom for people to decide different kinds of cloud gaming model, and then allow them to push for content from an independent Activision, or for obviously Activision to become one of those competitors? So just to step back, it's very early days, but what might this mean? First, I think it might be interesting explaining, I think, the distinctively furious Microsoft and even more Activision reaction when the CMA decision came out. Like, obviously, you can't really expect a positive reaction when you get a decision against a major deal like this. But it was, I think, distinctively critical of the CMA and the implications for how those firms are going to think about the UK going forward. And maybe there was a sense that they had a sense that those same remedies have been persuasive in other settings, here with the Commission. And that made the CMA decision seem more painful, more unreasonable in some way, and might have been part of why that reaction was so strong. Secondly, I do think it might strengthen a sense that the CMA is distinctively activist and make people further wonder how it's going to use the amazing degree of what's been called quasi-legislative powers that it's going to be given under the new DMCC competition regulation that the government published last month. I think this is going to increase the focus that I talked about in a recent Telegraph article on the political risk that's creating for tech businesses. The sense across this and other decisions, the UK is maybe becoming a less safe investment destination, less safe decision place to build a platform, and how that might have secondary impacts on investment. Obviously, the UK stands out more. If the Commission had come to the same conclusion, I think it's much more simple and looks like a kind of consensus competition decision. I think the fact that they took the same approach and got to a different conclusion means the UK stands out more. Finally, and full disclaimer, I am no lawyer. I do wonder if this makes a successful appeal more likely. So the CMA normally wins appeals. You make money betting on the CMA to win at the tribunal. But perhaps if another regulator has taken such a similar approach and come to a different conclusion based on how those remedies are treated, that might mean there's more room for Microsoft to challenge how the decision here was made. So yeah, I think really interesting decision, both for its general implications about the Commission's approach to deals like this, where apparently there are still room for remedies even in these sort of more forward-looking decisions. Interesting implications for the UK decision, and obviously relevant for the future of the deal, which I think is now a bit more alive than it maybe seemed when the UK decision first came down. I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below. Please do like, subscribe. Lots more content. Particularly take a look at the video on the DMCC versus the DMA, the video on that original CMA decision if you want to know more. Thanks very much. I look forward to seeing you soon.